Good day, my name is Pinyi and I will be presenting Case 5 on Tabung Haji. In the early 2000s, the Tabung Haji, TH, faced financial difficulty, particularly regarding its returns from investments, and with the intention of helping to improve this situation, the General Manager of Finance and the GM of Investment decided to accept an investment proposal presented by an investment company. In the process of approving the subsequent investment of Rm 150 million, the two GMs were informed that their investments were partly for the Forex market, where at that time, there was no conclusive decision on the status of investment in the Forex market regarding whether it complied with Sharia principles. To understand why this is a major issue for Tabung Haji to invest in Forex, it is important to understand the objectives of Tabung Haji's since its establishment. The three main objectives of Tabung Haji that is spelt out since 1969 is: first, to enable Muslims to save gradually to support their expenditure during the pilgrimage and for other beneficial purposes. The second objective is to enable Muslims to participate actively and effectively in investment activities permissible in Islam through their savings. Finally, to protect, safeguard interests and ensure the welfare of pilgrims during the pilgrimage by providing various facilities and services. After understanding the objectives of Tabung Haji, it should be clear that the cause for the issue to arise is due to the status of Forex investment according to Sharia principles. Therefore, to understand the issue better, let us take a look at the differences and similarities between the conventional conceptual framework and Islamic accounting or finance principles. The main difference is that conventional conceptual framework focuses on providing useful financial information for capital providers, where Islamic principles stresses on providing financial information that is comply with the Sharia principles. It also points out that the financial reporting should present financial information that determines the rights and obligations of related parties. The similarities are that the qualitative characteristics of both of the reporting regimes contained similar dimensions such as relevance and faithful representation. As mentioned previously, the primary issue is that part of the Rm 200 million invested was for the Forex market, whose halal status was questionable and had violated Tabung Haji's primary objective to ensure their investment was limited strictly to assuredly Sharia-compliant investment instruments. The second issue is the skepticism of the public regarding the ability of Tabung Haji to preserve their investments and to honor its pledge of investment in Sharia-compliant instruments. The bad practices that could be found within the case is that the lack of due diligence when investing. This can be seen where the two GMs did not conduct further checks on the authenticity of the Sharia investments on the initial investment. The second is the lack of disclosure. This can be seen when the two GMs intentionally concealed information from the board concerning their knowledge that part of the investment was bound for Forex markets. Finally, rash decision-making made by the new CEO as decision to terminate the investment had caused financial losses as well as loss in public confidence, even though there were no conclusive decisions concerning the status of Forex investment. The agency theory considers the management of a company as the agents of the stakeholders of that company, where agency problem is a conflict of interest that occurs when agents don't fully represent the best interests of principals. When we look at the actions of the GMs when making the initial investment, we can consider that the GMs are discharging their duties and there is no agency problem present. By investing in the project believed to be Sharia compliant, they believe that their action represents the best interests of the principals by improving financial performance of Tabung Haji. However, when making the subsequent investment, there is a clear sign of agency problem arising. They had concealed the information on the Forex investment in the board meeting, even though they knew that the investment in the project may conflict with the interest of the shareholders. It was not an action done with the best interest of the shareholders in mind. Based on COSO internal control framework, there are 5 main risk management components that can be considered, which are control environment, risk assessment, control activities, information and communication and monitoring activities. The points of focus for this case are the control environment, control activities and information and communication. The control environment in Tabung Haji can be said to have clear structures and reporting lines as shown in Figure 1 in the case, however the integrity and ethical values are questionable with the GMs concealing vital information about the investment. From the control activities principle, the problem arises when even though there is a clear, defined and well-established procedures for approving the investments, the implementation of the procedures is poor within the organization. We can also see that from the information and communication components, the information was not disclosed properly to the board, which lead to the investment of non-Sharia compliance investments. The investments in Forex's status in this cases can be viewed as controversial. As in the conventional system, Forex trading always involve the element of riba, gharar and maisar, which are against the tenets of Islam. Based on Exhibit 1, Fatwa on Forex does allow Forex investments. However, it is subject to the laws of Bay al-Sarf be observed, general conditions of sale and special conditions of Bay al-Sarf. Hence, if the Forex investments fulfills the conditions set by the Fatwa Committee, then the status of the Forex investments by Tabung Haji can be said to fulfill Sharia principles. After studying the case, some recommendations can be given. The first recommendation, which is based on agency theory, is that future investments should ensure that it is done with the stakeholders in mind. Any investments that contradicts the principles of Tabung Haji should be avoided at all cost, even if there is the slightest uncertainty in it. The second recommendation based on COSO is that Tabung Haji should ensure that any controls and procedures that are established should be implemented and applied rigorously. This is to ensure that there is no misconduct or loopholes that are being exploited. Finally, that the new CEO should not be rash about making the decision to terminate the Forex investment. This is because not all Forex investments are haram, as shown in Exhibit 1. Study should be done on the investments before making judgment, as it can affect many stakeholders. That is all from me. Thank you and have a great day.